All right, you guys all ready? We're all good?
Yep.
All right, friends. Welcome to MokokoCast, episode 2. The Great Sagening. The saddest time. The darkest timeline. Where Lost Ark gets delayed again. And we're all sad about it.
It's like Noah's Ark with the tears of everyone.
Yeah, the Macopia is real right now.
It's so real. I'm DJ Montague. Hyper, you go next.
I'm Hyper. What's up? Sad times.
I'm Wogsies. Nice to meet everybody.
And I'm Therion with my nice anime avatar in lieu
Cute.
of my face.
Perfect. And today we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We've got the delays. We've got what we're doing, which we'll talk about in a moment. We're going to talk a little bit about the Korean patch that happened in July. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff with PvE speculation for North America and EU, and then PvP stuff, and got a whole bunch of episodes for you friends. Yeah, the 777 patch. That's the lucky one. So let's start off. We'll talk about the worst news. The delay. We'll start with Hyper. What's your opinion on this whole thing?
New World 1.
New World 1.
That's pretty much it. They're like, hey, this is our first time, our only chance to make it look like we actually have a game studio. We failed every other release. Push back Lost Ark so we look like we're good. And New World's coming out, and Lost Ark gets delayed. Simple.
I agree. Wogsy, how are you feeling about this?
Almost the total opposite. I feel like it's just a company that's going through the throes of a shitstorm. It's never released a good game, but needs to, and has put like more effort than most companies into creating the engine and game of New World, and it's just absolute garbage. And they're just panicking full on. They probably are like all hands on deck, New World, because if this fails, no matter how good Lost Ark is, we probably fail and get shut down too. So like I think that's just a matter of like a gaming company not really knowing what they're doing. It's a new company. They don't know what they're doing. They have a good IP, but they probably don't realize it. And they're probably scared of New World flopping as hard as it's gonna. So, I mean, pushing back Lost Ark amidst all that panic kind of makes sense.
Therion?
Yeah, I just really wish they had pushed back New World instead of Lost Ark, because New World is really the one that needs more work, not Lost Ark. But yeah, I think the one good thing that could come of it is, I guess, making some of those changes that KR had made recently, and hopefully they end up doing some of those on the NA release.
Yeah. My opinion on it is we have a bunch of people that are probably awesome at making a video game. They know what they're doing, led by a bunch of people that worked at Amazon before Amazon Game Studios now, and they probably don't know the intricacies, how to release, how to market, how to do all of this stuff. And so, like we've seen with 2 games prior to Crucible, the first massive failure, we're seeing more errors by people that probably have no business being in charge. Now, like, the people that work at Amazon, the people that are working on the game itself, working on the translations, those people are probably awesome and they're doing a great job. And they probably want the game to be out right now. They might be running into errors, bugs here and there by like spaghetti coding like all these different patches together, but they're probably doing hard work. But the people at the top probably are having tons of issues with the New World release and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all in all a bummer. It's a bummer, but at least we get beta, right?
Hogs beta finally announced.
That's some copium right there.
At least you get 5 days of low ping PvP, like 4 if you count the leveling. That's what I'm
mean,
looking forward to.
It's
all I'm gonna do.
4.5, right? Because it'll be like the Thursday it'll be released during the day, and then most likely the Tuesday that they close up, it'll be done at like 9 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
5 whole days.
They
I-
let us boost.
I didn't get a chance to play alpha personally because I was so sick during that time. So at least I get something, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
also only
copium.
got to play a little bit of alpha as well. I only leveled the last day and PvP'd that night, so it'd be nice to see how the low ping PvP is really.
who did play low ping? Wogs, you play?
I know life did.
Hyper no life did. We'll go to Hyper first. What was your opinion on no lifing during the alpha? Excuse me.
It was great. Like, the only problem with it in the game at the time was really localization. It seems like the game's complete after playing other regions. You would have cutscenes where it just switched from English to Korean randomly, but that's not really a problem. And subtitles are messed up still, but that's all they really had to iron out. It looked like. So who knows what they're actually doing besides that? But the ping was great. I was getting like 15 in PvP. PvP felt great. Yeah, PvP felt good. I got to like 340.
Yeah, you said
I
didn't you
played
say you were selling stuff on the auction house and just like making mad money?
I wish. It wasn't
Oh.
me. I didn't do anything on the auction house.
You went straight 340 and just
340 and PvP'd.
okay.
I
Well,
wanted to glow.
and the games were tight. Like everything felt good. No rubber banding. Everything felt fine.
None. I didn't get any. No crashes, anything. The game felt great. So
Alright.
that's why this actually comes as such a surprise to me that they're pushing it back like 3 months. Because it felt complete.
Not. It might be more than 3 months, but you know,
3, 4, 5 months,
3,
next
4,
year,
5, 6,
3 years.
7 months. Who knows?
Come on, January, we could do it.
I mean, the only thing that I could assume they could possibly do is throw down the day of release of Lost Ark, like Apex did. Where they're like, hey, there's this new game and it's available to play right now for free. Go, But still, we have a 3-day head start. Like, I feel like this is all just kind of it's crazy. But Wogs, how did you feel about the alpha?
Pretty much same as Hyper. I didn't know life it because my friend told me about Lost Ark, the game, 2 days into the alpha.
Oh,
And then day 3, I was totally hooked. And fucking day 5, I was like in the hour like 20 of PvP. But like, I only got to play realistically. I did the leveling and only did about like 20 hours of PvP. So I mean, I played my scrapper exclusively, and my first like 5 hours was fucking awful because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And you could immediately tell the difference between the players that played in other regions and the other people that were like me, being like, I don't know what I'm doing. But because the veterans were just pile driving into those games, just pile driving people, dude. It was absurd, getting like 1 million damage games easy.
yeah.
But after I figured out what I was doing, there was like Hyper said, there's no rubber banding. That like really annoying thing that happens on like RU and KR where like you hear and sometimes half see your ability and it just goes on cooldown, or like it just goes the fuck on cooldown as soon as you press it and nothing happens. That virtually never happened as far as I recall. That's why I was so surprised about it when I got on RU, I think. So I mean, it just felt way nicer. I can't wait to do it again in the beta.
I mean, if we're playing on 15 ping, yeah, there's a lot less of a chance of you getting interrupted and skill going on cooldown. I mean, you're still going to get knocked out of skills here and there, but yeah, like that interrupt feature where you do literally nothing or you stand up in a different area for some reason because you rolled, the game thinks you rolled on server side and you got knocked down in a different place and then you just teleport. Like, none of
Or when
that.
people like, or when you stun people and then they roll. Like this happens to me and Thar all the time when we do 1v1s. I'll stun him, and on his screen he'll roll out of the stun, and on my screen I'll hit him with the stun,
Mhm.
and it just results in a stunned person rolling away.
Yeah.
It's just
Sometimes the stun will hit you like after you roll. It's so
so stupid. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're still going to have that because realistically, there will be people playing from Brazil. There will be people playing from, you know, other countries, because if we have an English localization, why would people that speak English in other countries not play on it, right? So people are we're still gonna have that, but hopefully it's a lot less prevalent on our side.
That'll be our advantage too.
Yeah, that's the major thing, is ping advantage. But so we got, at least we got beta. We're all just hoping. I'm just hoping personally that it gets extended, because at what point are we really, like 5 days? 5 days, really? That doesn't seem like much. And especially, when was alpha? Alpha was June, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So we had alpha in June. As the game got announced, alpha was available. Couldn't stream it, couldn't do anything with it. Tried it out, people had fun. We wait 5 months to get beta, and then another potentially 4 months for release. That's a major feels bad. If
That feels bad. When you say it like that, it's actually insane. But fucking hopefully the beta is just gonna be crazy popular, and they'll be like, we're extending it by a week.
I hope so.
That'd be awesome.
I hope so. But
probably not.
what we'll talk about after that is with the beta and with MokokoCast the way it is right now, we're just gonna let everybody know we're gonna hibernate for about a month and a half on MokokoCast, get it to a better position of like quality, and then bring it back the week before beta begins, so we could talk about it and have more of a refreshed mind, because a lot of us are almost overworking ourselves right now with the added on of the podcast, streaming, YouTube videos, work, real life shit. Like, a lot of us are going a little insane. But MokokoCast is going to not be on for the next 6 weeks. We'll be back on October 28th is when we'll be returning. So I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on with that. And so to gloss over that as fast as possible, let's talk about what's going on in PvE for like KR, and what just happened in Russia with Be a Kiss. Like, so nobody here has played Be a Kiss yet.
Not yet.
No.
But we've got Wogsy going into Ball 10 tonight.
Yes.
So we haven't had a chance to talk about like what is expected of NA and EU going into PvE, and how much you have to do to get to like this PvE content, this end game content. So Wogsy, what do you, how much have you gone through in the last week to get ready for Ball 10? Just Ball 10 itself.
Probably like 50,000 gold and more materials than I can quantify in my head at the moment. Like easily like 100,000 weapon and armor crystals, more than 3,000 greater citrines. A lot, but a lot of it has just been finding the materials, honestly, like doing an insane number of islands for skill points to make my character stronger, because there's power spikes you get at level 55 that I wasn't even aware of before, that you need skill points for. Doing like Igaharm Ridge, which is much more challenging than I thought it was going to be, for all the materials there. Just trying to capitalize on every bit of PvE content I can do. There's actually so much of it. There's Abyss Trials, there's Abyss Raids, there's the Void Dungeons, there's the Guardians, your Chaos Dungeons. the island events, and just everything that you can do. And that's just not like you doing it all on multiple characters to funnel to one character as well is like a lot. So yeah, I've just been farming my absolute balls out. Also, you have to do a little bit of like, they call it engraving math after you get to 1370, and then again at 1415, where you use your accessories and your ability stone combined with the engravings you've learned to get yourself to a minimum of 3 to 4, like 3 engravings at 1370 and then 4 at 1415 with 1 extra engraving at 1 level. And that took a lot of like peons and gold and just fucking people putting the shit up on the auction house, because I'm never going to get lucky enough to get all 5 of the accessories I want.
Right.
So you got to wait for other people to get lucky. But yeah, it's been a lot. I've been devouring the PvE content. I learned a lot of new stuff about the game. It actually like coincidentally helped me prepare for NA, because I ended up doing a lot of older content that I should have done much sooner, in the form of like islands that are going to be out as soon as NA hits and things like that. And yeah,
Sounds like fun, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, for a person that wants to get more into PvE, in general,
it actually is. Yeah, I enjoy it, all of it.
yeah, it's got to be a
There were
good time.
very few times where I was like, even the islands, right? Like the islands, I went into that terrible like mindset. I was just like, this is gonna suck and be grindy. I have no idea how I'm gonna make this entertaining. But every island was different, and nothing that I was doing was like, there were some like RNG bits. I got really lucky with some of the RNG like island soul drops and shit. But there were a lot of PvP islands that were important to do. Those were fun. There's like a lot of shit that you can tell in NA, right? Like all these world PvP islands that spawn on a timer, you have to get the island heart from, are the ones that are like always up. Like people are gonna be all over this shit. Like I know I'm gonna camp the shit at a slime island. Like, oh my god, dude, there's this island where you get the island heart off a golden slime that spawns, and it's just like open world PvP everywhere, and it's a super high drop chance. So it's one of the highest priority island souls to get, one of the first ones you get.
Mm.
And so like, I'm just gonna guard the golden slime with my life. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna guard it from people.
Slisburg is fun. That's the island you're talking about. That's the absurd one.
Yeah.
I've done it, and I can tell you, like, doing it on Russia, doing it on KR is like super easy, because people in Russia and KR don't want to kill you. They're just like, oh, I'm here for this thing. We don't need to kill each other, so we won't. But North America, a little different. If you have the availability to kill somebody in a game, it will be somebody's life work to ruin your day. That's what America does. So, we have our MokokoCast day ruiner in Wogsy, ruining everyone's life in Slisburg. But so Hyper, you said you're waiting a little bit more too on PvE content.
Mm-hmm.
And same with you, Therian?
Yeah, I got my gunslinger up to 1340 to kind of experience all the base stuff aside from the endgame raids
Mhm.
initially, to kind of just get a bit better prepared, but I don't want to ruin too much of it before NA release and get burned out. That's kind of my take on it,
Gotcha.
especially
Same.
mainly as a PvPer.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do the mixture of both, without really running alts right now on Russia. So I'm at like 1364 without running an alt. So if I'm not PvPing on Russia or doing my homework on Russia, I'm going over to Korea and playing PvP in Korea. So I wish I had more info on just what there is available for us in current content, but unfortunately I don't. So we're gonna have to wait for Wogsy to do Boltan. Hopefully by the time we come back, I'll have done Boltan as well, and maybe be a kiss. We'll see.
Yeah, I did Argos for the first time this last week. It was really cool. Honestly, like, it's so hard not to watch the cinematics when you're going through in these Russian groups. A, because you want to troll the shit out of them, and because they can't tell, you know, who's not hitting escape. And there's this like this party that just wants to be like join them in their hate, be like, what the fuck? As I'm sitting there watching it, just like, what the fuck? Press escape. But honestly, it's so cool. It starts off, it's just like Albion fighting Argos for some fucking reason. It's this awesome cinematic of this weird donkey dragon fighting this giant reindeer of magic, suns and moons and shit.
I can tell you
And,
this,
like-
the lore if you want.
But man, it's fucking cool. But yeah, and the fight itself is like it starts off really light. There's like one pizza mechanic that's kind of intense, but then after that, it's just basic void shit. In phase 2, it starts to ramp up, and then phase 3 gets fucking crazy. And shit's actually pretty hard.
Well, that'll be fun for all of us to finally experience. I just really want to experience the PvE in this game with like a reasonable connection, because rubber banding in PvE just as bad as rubber banding in PvP, if not worse, because you just die instantly with certain mechanics.
Oh yeah, it's actually more punishing, honestly. Yeah.
It's way more.
Dude, you know what my biggest motivator is? It's so stupid. I just want to hit hard, man. I want to see my destroyer hit something for 200 million. I saw someone do it on Empire. I think we can do it on a destroyer. I just want to slap something real fucking hard with my hammer for like 200 million damage.
Did you see that sort clip that was going around recently of like the meteor hitting for like an insane amount of damage in PvE?
No.
That's hilarious.
I have
Yeah, it
not
was
seen that
something
yet.
Like 200 plus mil or something instantly.
Well, we'll talk about how busted Sorks are in a little bit. Because they're busted, and I hate Sorks. But,
Oh, there's Starian's pick
Such a
screen
great
from VOD.
character screen. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's okay. So, with them announcing North America in Q1, and them saying that they're going to do the Korean changes that have recently happened, and integrate them more into what Lost Ark is for North America. I wanted to talk about what do we think that means? Like, the 7.7 patch is obviously going to be a big point of contention of like what it could possibly be for North America. So Therian and I kind of went through that, and we'll talk to Therian first about that. Let's talk about the Guardian raids. We'll give sorry, getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about the PvE changes and what we think we're actually gonna get for upgrading gear. So the difference in what it is now in Russia, where it's separated between tier 1, 2, 3, and then lower, mid, and high, to what we potentially could get in the Korean client, where it's not separated in low, mid, high anymore. It's just tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and you can use all the materials you get in the tier to upgrade any part of that tier. So, Therian, what's your opinion on like the change itself and what it could possibly be for North
I
America?
think the 7.7 change is good for NA, mainly due to like the clarity of enhancing. It helps the process be a lot more simple, because it's a bit convoluted for new players. And it seemed like when they made those changes on KR, a lot of them were kind of almost for NA players, since they only affected tier 1 and tier 2. So I really hope that we do end up getting that. There's also some anti-whaling mechanics in the 7.7 patch that would be probably well received by NA players, capping the lower tiered gear at 20 instead of 25, and having a lower % difference in attack power gain when you enhance compared to previously before the 7.7 patch. So I think some of those are two of the good features that would be welcome on NA as part of the 7.7 Korean changes.
I wholeheartedly agree. Anti-whaling, all about it. I mean, wait.
And that's coming from me being a whale. I still prefer equalized.
Yeah. So, Hyper, you've seen those changes as well, correct?
I have seen them, but I haven't honestly read into them as much as you guys. But I agree with them coming to NA because at the end of the day, NA is not as grindy of a region as KR is. So anything that makes the game less grindy for us and less pay to win is good at the end of the day.
So I have a question about this because like we've kind of just agreed that it exists and we're all okay with it. So it feels like Korea is the only developer of modern MMOs that is like super cool with grindy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I think it comes from basically if you look at Korean games, their communities, they just like to help each other. So the grind, they don't care. So like, for instance, if you look at like a game like Black Desert, they don't PvP as much, even though it's clearly a PvP game. They'll sit there outside your grind spot and be like, hey, how long are you going to be here? And I'll just wait instead of killing you. So I think that's just their mindsets over there are more set for grinding at the end of the day. So
is this like thanks
NA,
to
we just want to
Lineage?
kill each other. You know, that's a good question. I don't know. I didn't play Lineage as much, so
I don't even mean Lineage 2. I meant like original
like
Lineage.
old school. Yeah. I'm not
Like,
sure.
Just,
I don't know
like,
where that
time is
mindset
money.
comes from, but that's how they are over there.
If you think about it, like, you know, time is money. They want you on the game for a
Exactly.
long amount of time.
Exactly. Yeah, true. Especially since PC cafes and everything are big over there.
Yeah,
Gaming
like,
itself is big over there.
they charge like for some games that come out free to play in the West are charged for hourly in the East because like the whole like internet cafe culture is so prevalent that like not everyone even plays PC games at home. It's a whole different culture, honestly, for gaming.
I just think it's interesting, and I think it's a point we should talk about with talking about a Korean MMO that's coming to the West. Like, obviously, this has a lot more Westernization than any other MMO really coming this way at all. The next closest one would be something like Elion, and after that, the travesty that was Arcade Unchained is like what we're getting is like actually them removing a lot of the Eastern mechanics and ideas the game has been known for the last 2.5 years, right? So
Longer.
well, I mean, yeah, since the beginning, since the beta of
Yeah.
Lost Ark that everybody played, that was like season 1's pretty pay to win. Like this is pretty brutal. This is a grindy ass game, and if you don't have the alts for it, even then, and the alts didn't really give you a whole lot back then.
Nope.
But
Season 1 was terrible.
yeah, season 1 was terrible. Wogsy, you missed out.
Yeah, did I?
You did.
I don't think I would have
Definitely
played, to be honest.
You had to
know.
grind skill points for PvP.
Nope,
Oh.
wouldn't have played.
There were some fun aspects too, like the Soul Master alt one-shotting the entire enemy team.
Oh yeah, that's super
some
fun.
derpy
Oh, that was
stuff
fun.
like that, but it was so much less balanced than it is now.
Yeah, I think on the topic of Eastern MMOs coming to the West, this is probably like if this game didn't have equalized PvP and was the exact same game otherwise, with all of the amazing PvE that it has, I wouldn't play it for a single second. Like as much as I love PvE, I cannot live without some sort of competitive PvP like this. Like no Eastern MMO really comes to the West with like good PvP. Really, like there's always some fucking weird aspect to it. Either it's like the PvE gear counts, or it's pay to win, or fucking it's all open world based.
Well,
something
I mean,
weird.
to speak on that, we have a game like Albion. Albion, like gear matters in all PvP, correct? Like what you there, the arena, I guess you could say it doesn't really matter as much, but it still matters enough because it still gives you stat points, right? Whereas there was like some semblance of equalization in season 1. It wasn't fully equalized, but it would crunch your stats a lot. So the difference of like a gear score of 340 to 370 was small, whereas like a difference of 250 gear score to 370 was like 10% damage different. So I mean, they still had some semblance of equalized gear, but it wasn't like, it's not like, oh, you coming in with 370 gear, you're one-shotting everybody, you know. So
Yeah.
that's, but then again, we still have that with World of Warcraft. Like World of Warcraft in PvP, you still have gear matters, you know.
Everything, yeah. I'm personally just after WoW for almost my entire life, I'm just kind of tired of it, and like you can't deny, like, I mean, the PvP in this game, it's fucking addicting. It's I don't know. I have never played an Eastern MMO with PvP like this before. I love it personally. It's what originally got me hooked to the game. Like I'm gonna be playing both fairly hardcore because I have a lot more time than other people. But if I had to make a choice, I would definitely just go hard on the PvP.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it has a ton of replayability, and it's just super fluid. It just feels good to play once you get a hang of the mechanics.
I agree. So we'll talk about some of the regular changes that happened in the 7.7 patch we were talking about, and we kind of went off on a little tangent, but we'll talk about let's talk about the infinite chaos dungeons. What's that mean to NA? Because like I didn't play, like I said, I didn't sick for the alpha, so I didn't know that we had infinite chaos dungeons. So what
we might not want to talk about that because of the NDA. No one else is talking about that, and I heard it on Discord in private, so I'm just gonna put that on there immediately.
But it is on KR, correct?
Breaking NDA, yeah.
So let's talk about the Korean client.
Yeah, let's talk about the Korean client for a second. That's what we're doing. I was just saying that would super suck.
I mean, it's fine. They're not going to get mad at us. They've got enough on their plate with Twitter, right? I'm sure.
That's true. Well, yeah, we can talk about it. Fuck it. But let me just clip that out of the recording. But fucking honestly, it means a lot for NA because they also changed the way the vendor works for the Infinite Chaos dungeons. Like on Live in Russia, when you do it in tier 3, every time you make a purchase from the vendor, the cost increased on the vendor, like a lot, and it resets every week. You can farm about 1,500 crystals in half an hour, and to put that in perspective, like a one crystal initially costs like 130, the second one costs like 340, so on and so forth. It gets to be quite insane. You can also get accessories from them of any tier at a rising cost as well, including the most recent tier. So that's nice for being able to farm engraving effects that you might not be getting lucky with. But it is a grind. There's no two ways about it. Even with the modified vendor on KR and in the alpha and shit, like all they did really was reduce how much it increases per purchase, but it's still going to be quite the grind.
Okay. So let's talk about the Guardian changes then that happened on KR. So Guardian raids have an AP cap in Russia where you have like, even if you meet the item level, sometimes you can't hit the mob, you can't hit the boss because you don't have enough attack power. So now they've removed that gate on KR, so now you could do Guardian raids if you're at the level or the item level you need to enter, right?
Yeah, that's a great change. Another one of the convoluted systems that shouldn't have even been in the game, really, since it was like almost a hidden mechanic that had to be tested out manually by players.
Yeah.
AP Gate was terrible. Like, I know when me and Therian played Japan, we got kind of fucked by AP Gate on Mystic on our first attempt, because we all were the right eye level, but a lot of us didn't have enough AP to actually do damage without popping food buffs and everything. So we were unable to like complete it the first week.
Yeah, we just did like 10k damage instead of like 100k, for instance, because of the gate. It was stupid.
Yeah. And the other thing that sucks about that is your cosmetic gear contributes to your AP. So if you were whaling, you could pass the AP gate easily, more easily than somebody who couldn't, you know. And so I'm glad that that's actually gone. I experienced that in Mystic myself, actually making this paladin on Russia, where I was going through the content and I'm like, okay, so I have the item level to go into phase 2 and do phase 2, but I'm doing literally no damage to this boss. I didn't really understand why until I read through what the AP gate was. So I'm glad that's like completely out of the picture.
Yeah, and the armor pieces in Lost Ark 2 have a bit different system of stats than other games. Like generally, like the chest and legs will have less offensive stats sometimes than other pieces, which in most other games they would have more. So that was another convoluted part of that AP gate that kind of made it more confusing. So it's good that it's just removed in the 7.7 version.
Right.
Yeah, that actually like I encountered that recently because when you are in current tier and you're upgrading your gear, you think just because it tells you the game prior is like, yeah, get everything to 15 and then recycle your shit. So you're like upgrading your gear all to 15, and I found out when everything was level 12 that like you're not even supposed to move your leggings and chest past level 11 because of how inefficient it is with stats. You just power up other things past level 15 to get your item level and so that you hit your AP gates, because if you try to level everything evenly, you just won't have enough because of the legs and chest are so weak.
That was the other thing, was that if you wanted to increase your AP at all, and hit AP gates and actually be able to do the content, you would upgrade your weapon, your shoulders, and your hands first, correct? Because those are the ones that actually have stats that contribute.
And the weapon's so expensive that you can't really afford that, so you do the helm instead.
Yeah. Pretty good changes all around to make it a little bit better for the Western audience. So, all in all, I think like what we could hope for to come to the West is just like almost that patch just copied over, but without the tier 2 and tier 3 content enabled, so that we can go through it in a regular pace, right?
Yeah, that would be great. Another thing they changed was the tower rewards that I forgot to talk about earlier. They added more engraving books to those, so it was easier to get your initial engravings, which is much better than the system that Japan had, which was just giving loot boxes, which encouraged botting. So I think having them through the tower is a much better system, and I hope we get that change as well in the 7.7 patch.
Yeah. That's weird for Japan to do that. I mean, guess it's incentive for people to log on, but yeah, incentivizes bots, incentivizes extra accounts, so you can make more money and succeed faster. That's weird. But at least hopefully we can assume that we'll get the tower changes, because if we only get tier 1 anyway to start, like engravings in general are gonna be tough to farm, have, and like get that stuff in general. So
yeah, currently in Russia, like the most geared people have 5 engravings. Like the most geared people in tier 1 that have like 2, I was told. So I mean, it's a huge power difference alone.
I mean, and for people that don't know, engravings are literally like 10 to 20% damage boost. If you're getting the correct engraving, they're insane. So class engravings are nuts. All that stuff is crazy. So like a lot of there's so many systems that increase the amount of damage you can possibly do. The tripod system, the tripod level system, the runes, like all that stuff. There's just so many systems in the game. So making one a little bit easier to understand and digest for Western players is going to be great, in my opinion, because there's like 20 systems of how to upgrade your stuff and how to be stronger. But anyways, okay, so let's talk a little bit about PvP. I don't know, we'll start off with Russia because the week is ending, or the season is ending. So are you guys going hard on ranked right now?
Not at all.
Not at all. Vlogs, you've been doing a lot of PvP. Are you going hard on ranked at all?
I'm like really close to Marshall. I was gonna finish out the grind of Marshall this week, and I figured why not see how high I can get in rank, because one of the servers is fresh. But like there are so many Russian twinks in the queue right now doing exactly that on like new accounts or on like the fresh servers, and then like the higher rated people are queuing to like more right now, and like at least some of them are. It might just be twinks, like I said, because you're getting so many like plats, golds in these bronze games that I'm in. Like I was in a bronze game like yesterday. It was like 2 or 3 platinum players were in it, and they weren't even surprised. And like they started talking to each other in the say chat, and one's like, "Yeah, this is my 3rd twink this week." The other one's like, "Yeah, I don't really care anymore. This is my 4th one. Whatever happens, happens." It's just like they're all just power leveling their different classes on different accounts, seeing how high they can get. And it's not a lot of fun playing against nothing but like pretty good Russians. And like bronze. On top of that too, people are like way more fucking toxic right now.
Yeah,
But,
I mean that's the end of the season for any game,
yeah.
really. That
But
last
I
week
am
was
gonna
worse.
I am gonna push ranked. I was gonna do my Baltan, and I'm done with PvE for like the whole week after Baltan. I've done my skill point farming that I'm gonna do for now, and probably for the rest of the week after tonight, I'm gonna be grinding PvP pretty hard.
Terry, are you going in ranked right now?
I've done a bit of ranked. I haven't pushed it super hard. I think I'm in like silver now. The highest I got was like 1480, which isn't great, but with the ping, it's decent on Gunslinger since a lot of the combos are a lot harder to land. I kind of have a little bit of a differing opinion than Woogsy about the higher ranked players. I really enjoy playing with the higher ranked players because I feel like I always learn something after the match versus like in a bronze game where people will just go aggressive and feed a lot. I don't like the toxicity in ranked. There are a lot of toxic players that I do not enjoy that aspect of it, but I think in general I do like playing with higher ranked players because I learn a lot afterwards.
I like that. I only enjoy it if there's also higher ranked people on the other team, not because it evens out, but because if it's like one high ranked person, they'll see you make one mistake and they'll just AFK in the fire. It's happened so many fucking times where like one person on my team will be like ranked rating, and the fucking plat person just goes off in chat. They finally start playing halfway through, die one time and quit. Like, I don't know, like that's been the majority of my experiences with the higher rated players, is that as soon as they get irritated with people for being lower rated than them, they just stop playing.
Yeah,
So-
I noticed a huge difference in attitude and playstyle around 1500. I know we had some really good games the other day, DJ, with a lot of silver players and higher. And it seemed like once you get out of like the 1400 elo, the matches were a lot more fun. I don't know. Everyone was playing better, just like playing as a team. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things with the system right now, and the problems that we're running into of that we don't have our own server. Like it sucks that we want to play PvP, we want to do this thing, and we're the outside, the outside force, like playing and ruining games for other people. We're not ruining them, so to speak, because we are enjoying them ourselves, but that's the way they're viewing it. Like they're like, oh well, these guys are just coming in here and making a mistake, or they're playing at 200 ping and they're gonna suck and they're gonna ruin my game and feed, and I might as well just sit here in the fire and not do anything. Like, they're not right for sitting in the fire, don't get me wrong, but I understand the mentality of like, it's frustrating to watch people come in and just feed the game off, and you're just like, dude, I'm tired of trying at this point. It sucks. It's a shitty feeling, but like you said, we had some really good games, and I'm playing at 200 ping, and I play Paladin. I feel like I could probably get to platinum. Like if I truly went for it, I feel like I could get there. Now whether or not I have the right amount of time to do so is a different story, but still, like, it's not that bad, and people overreact, it feels like, in PvP, and just kind of quit because they're frustrated. But neither here nor there. I'm gonna try and play some more ranked in Russia tonight, tomorrow, see what I can get to, and I don't know, just go for it, I guess.
Yeah, the other part of the reason that I've been told not on ranked is because it really brings out the shitty in me. I got Star. We were doing some unranked games earlier. I just got so fucking tilted like immediately because I've been playing ranked or like before, and I don't know, like it definitely tilts the shit out. Like when I get a ranked player on my team and ranked, I get so angry. I'm like, you really think you're ready for this, Mr. New? You're fucking gonna get in here?
See, that's
and
the
rank it
thing
up?
is whether or not they're ranked or they're just learning. It doesn't. We as players, we as streamers, we as the people embracing these people into the game, like there's no gatekeeping here. We can't gatekeep, and that's the worst option to do anyway, is try and gatekeep them from like playing the game how they want to play it, right? You know, it's like
I don't believe in that in ranked. I think that once you hit OK on a ranked queue, that you are agreeing to play the game not only for yourself but for your teammates. It's more than just how you want to play the game at that point, because you're affecting other people's rating that they worked for. I think the same thing goes into PvE in a raid in the pay to play game. Like
well,
WoW,
that's like
and like
that's saying that you guarantee that they're gonna troll. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, when I first went into ranked in Russia, I thought that I was like, I did like 20 to 30 unranked games and I know what I'm doing now, so I'm gonna do ranked. And my first few games, the things that like I didn't get flamed. Someone just whispered to me, they said, "Hey man, I don't think you're ready for ranked. You should probably keep trying unranked for a little bit." And I like at first I got really angry, but like they were fucking right. Like I was not ready after 20 or 30 games
So
into
then
this game.
obviously if you're getting that treatment of kindness and like somebody being like, hey man, like you're just probably not ready for this, like we need to be the same and take it upon ourselves to be the like, hey man, you might not be ready for ranked, but you'll get there. Like this is what you should be looking at and this is how you should be going forward, right? So it's like the frustration is there. I get it that like new players are engaging in the content that you're working hard to succeed at and like almost ruining it for you, but they don't know. There's no difference. Like, and if they do know, then they're trolling, right? Then they're being dead. So there's a difference, right? But yeah, that's the whole weirdness of ranked in general, is like they're letting you go and unleashing you to the wolves pretty quickly. You can play 20 games and go straight into ranked if you want.
It's pretty ridiculous, honestly.
What's that?
It's just ridiculous, honestly. I feel like I shouldn't have even stepped into ranked until I was Commander 1.
I mean, that's your own time gate, you know, and like you think that this is where you should be.
That's what I'm just saying. For me, like I did queue ranked. I fucking went and I did it, and I went from 15 or however the fuck they start you at in this game to like 500 or something insane. And it's taken me so long to grind that back. But you're right, that is just like my opinion or whatever. And it's not like I'm flaming these new players in these games.
No,
That's not
no.
what I'm saying. I don't talk to them, but like I do see them flaming more than not. Like
Yeah, I mean,
in chat, like there's a lot of really toxic US people out here right now.
When you're boxed into a corner, you're the everyone's against you. You're gonna flame back, right? You're gonna defend yourself and be like, ah, fuck everybody else. But that's not the way we want to do it. That's not the way we should handle it, right? But either way, you need to hear. But so Hyper, you're not going for any sort of ranked right now, right? You said?
Not right now. Maybe when the season restarts. Maybe I might troll a little, go on striker. You know, see how far I can take it.
When are we getting striker? Is that they said October, right? For striker?
No, it's this month.
September.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I couldn't find they did make a post, there was a post in like a Russian post, obviously, and I want to say it was like September 20 something. It could have been like the 16th too. That's what I've been trying to find. I can't find an exact date, but they did release an exact date.
So APOC brought up something in chat, since we're talking about PvP. We really haven't gotten to the questionnaire portion, but APOC brought it up and it's a really good call. So since Korea has level 26 as the level cap to get into PvP, what do you guys think of that? Like, should NA get that?
Why not?
Oh yeah, dude.
100%. Like it's a
change
great
anything.
change. It basically allows the PvP players to basically just play PvP if they want. They don't have to level up. They can play multiple characters they like. The one thing is they need to add the testing room at level 26 instead of 30 instead, and they need to fix the demonic and scatter alts, because apparently, according to Eris on KR, they don't get all the transform abilities at level 26. So those two classes you actually have to level further to get all the abilities in PvP.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which seems kind of weird. I don't know if it's like a bug they have or what.
It's gotta be an oversight.
But those two things, if they change those two things, I think it's a great change overall. I doubt if they're going to change either of those, but even without that, it's still nice to queue at a lower level for sure.
Yeah, I agree with Thar that it's a great change, and that they do need to unlock the training room, especially. Like, I remember hitting 26 on my sorceress, being like, God, I wish I could figure out what all these spells do because I can't read them. But the other thing too, I agree with it. I do think that they should continue to have rank to be level 50 though. I think that the problem that I was mentioning before would be twofold with people that haven't even seen all their abilities. But that's once more just my opinion.
I think the thing we're going to run into is that the people that do want to play PvP pretty early and that's all they really care about, they don't get the whole feeling of playing the game. Like in World of Warcraft, when you were able to PvP 10 to 19, like, or I'm sorry, what was it, 20, 29, yeah, even 10 to 19, when you were able to queue up for Warsong Gulch, you were gaining experience, right? Because they wanted to push you forward in the original vanilla. But here, there's no experience, there's nothing you gain from PvP to progress your character in PvE other than at level 50 when you get the material, right? So it's gonna be weird seeing if we do get the 26 level 26 at the beginning, because a lot of people are just gonna go straight to PvP. They don't care, you know, and that's kind of a worry, I think, just because those people, I mean, sure, learn your PvP early, but that's going to be the difference in player skill, I think, at higher levels. But a lot of the people that want to play PvP only want to do that anyway, so let them do it as early as they can, I guess.
That's kind of why I was thinking about leaving it the rank to 50, because a lot of people that wanted PvP, right, like they're going to go in, they're going to get to that wall of like they're going to hit that ranked rating, then they're going to want to do ranked, and then they would have to level more and experience more of the game and actually get their character to a point where they experience the game. And maybe, like, I don't know, like a lot of the people that have come on my stream that are PvP only in other games have watched me do the PvE recently, and they're like, wow, definitely like wouldn't have thought to try this if I hadn't seen it. So I was like, thought about that.
I think this game lends itself really well to that you can do the PvP and the same character that you're bringing into PvP, same character you're playing in PvE, right? And it's fun. So the mechanics are fun, the dodging is fun, and that's what we play PvP for, right? Is to outplay something, to play something perfectly. Or like some people play PvP specifically because they want to ruin somebody else's day. They want to beat the shit out of somebody, right? But I play PvP to showcase my skill and like how good I think I am at the game. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the differences. That people, like, if you see somebody that's really sick in PvP, that's awesome, because it's not just the damage number. You got to dodge mechanics. You got to know what you're doing, right? You got to have good reaction time. Not like Final Fantasy, unfortunately, like, not to like throw Final Fantasy under the bus, but it's a lot of dancing. It's a lot of movement based on this happens, then this happens, then this happens. Whereas in PvE in this game, it's like react to the mechanic that's happening and dodge it, or you're dead. So that might be the difference maker in the enjoyment for a PvP player to a PvP. What do we got left? What are we talking about for PvP? Oh, Sorc changes. Right?
Yeah, Sorc changes on KR.
So I've played Sorc on KR a little bit, and then I've played against Sorc on KR, and the change is mainly the movement stuff they changed. They increased their dash range, and they made it so when they die, they don't lose all their identity skill. And I'll tell you guys right now, Sorcs are insane. Like, one of if not the strongest DPS class in the game, I think right now. Their zone control is just so insane. Their CC is crazy. They can have like 3 CC skills that they are also stagger immune during and knock up immune. It's crazy. They're crazy right now. Hyper, have you played in any Korea right now?
Not recently, so I haven't touched Sork.
Okay. Wogs, what do you think?
You're so strong. I played it once after the update, having not played it for like a week or more. And I didn't even know about the changes, but I noticed them immediately. I was like, holy fucking shit, I keep my identity when I die. that was huge. That's actually huge.
Mm-hmm.
I only tried it before the buff, but before the buff I really disliked the class. I thought I would like it more, but it felt very slow coming from Gunslinger, Devil Hunter, Blade, like faster classes. So I didn't like that aspect of it. I don't think it was weak. I think it's very team comp reliant, but I haven't played it since the update, so I can't speak on that.
I would say give it a try now, because the new dash and them not losing identity skill makes your choices a lot more. You're not a snowball class anymore. You're not based on like, oh, if I don't have 66% of my identity skill ready, I'm not going to get away from this guy. I have to continuously do damage every life to get that back up so I can get my identity skill back. It's like, no, they're crazy. Like their movement is super strong. Their zone control is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like the fan of icicles that is on the ground, it hits once, you get slowed. If it hits again, you get stunned or you get frozen. They have the point blank AoE, the rise skill. I'm not sure what it's called, but they lift you into the air for like a full 2 seconds of knockup, and it only counts as 1 knockup. And you can take tons of damage during it. And they just like throw everything they have on the ground and light you up as soon as you're coming towards the ground to get knocked up again. Like the class all around right now, I think Sork is better than Summoner. Like by a lot. They do crazy damage. And there's no reason to use the other part of their identity because the movement is so strong. Like Sork's move, sometimes I've seen Sork's move better and faster than a gunslinger can across the field. It's nuts.
It'll be interesting to try after the patch.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Their new movement, the new positioning they can have, it's just so ridiculous. That class is nuts. Playing a striker against a Sork is like just asking to die. Like you can't get in. If you do get in, they're stagger immune anyway, and it's just like, oh my god, it's so frustrating. So frustrating to play against. I watched Typhoon play Sork, and he had a 90% win rate on Sork in ranked. Just teeing off. It was just crazy. Like average 670k damage every game. And in KR, that's quite a bit. That's not a lot in Russia because the games are longer. Anyways, Sork changes I think are crazy. I think they're real strong right now. Whether or not we get them in the States at a reasonable time is another question. And the question of whether or not we get Arcana and Destroyer and Lance Master.
Don't need them. Need that.
What, you want Arcana?
We don't need Destroyer in here.
We don't need Destroyer. We don't need Arcana.
I hope
we
they
need
just
Lance Master.
I hope they put Arcana in the trash can with the rework, but
Oh no, dude, it's gonna be great.
Arcana's gonna be nuts, I think. I think
You
Arcana's
know
gonna
it's
be
gonna be good, dude.
Oh
yeah. Well, if you're good after your rework, I'm sure Destroyer is gonna be pretty phenomenal too. So
I
maybe
think
they're gonna
Destroyer's
give it
gonna
another
be
stun.
really strong.
Maybe they're like, Destroyer needs another stun.
I
Yeah.
feel like Destroyer's in a weird place where it's really good in pre-made and not as much in solo queue. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance that, because looking at the latest Russian tournament, it was almost all like Bard, Destroyer, Gunslinger teams, right?
Mhm.
And Gunslinger Destroyer is a really good combo. So it'll be interesting to see if it's nerfs or buffs for the class.
Maybe they're just gonna make the hammer bigger so it can reach people running away.
I mean, they don't seem to have that problem. when they're jumping and flipping and endure pain running and stunning somebody in the face, but that's just me because I'm a paladin. I only have one gap closer, so. Anyways.
Ranked, when everybody's running away from you at pop endure pain, I can always catch the paladin.
You can always catch the paladin. At least you know that. So, what else do we want to talk about with PvP? Anyone?
You covered everything, right?
I think that was everything for today, at least, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been watching Therian pop off in this game, and tee off on people right now.
Hop off? You mean feed?
I've literally watched you triple shotgun somebody at the beginning of this game. Don't start with the feeding. Blasting people in the face.
Well, I guess the only thing we can plug, Friday night fights are still going on though.
Oh yes, absolutely. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I do have a Discord for that.
So we're still gonna be doing in all the meantimes of this stuff. We're definitely gonna still have our custom games for Fridays, run by Therian. We want to keep PvP alive, you know, and the custom games are so much better than playing against people with like 10, 15, 20 ping for a learning experience.
It's a great way for new players and experienced to play together and help each other learn.
Yeah.
And build the PvP community up.
Yep, there you go. 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So it's like perfect for me. Get in a couple games before I usually have to go to work, but I can't work right now. But anyway. Well, you know, good stuff today, guys. A lot of good info that we had ready to go, and we'll be back soon. TM, we'll be back when they announce the game.
Don't say soon, TM. They did that to us for beta, and look where that ended.
Thank you, Therian, for plugging all of our Twitches. I appreciate it. And we have the Discord for Friday night. I'll post that as well in my chat later on today when I go live. Stuff that we've got custom games tomorrow, literally tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Wogs, are you going? Wow. Are you going live after this?
Debating it. Like just fix my sleep schedule, but
good.
And again, I could stream all night, right? Like I normally do. Fuck it all up again immediately.
You could watch those videos I was telling you to watch too.
We didn't have any chat questions, right? I haven't actually been.
Yeah, I don't think we really had anything.
Trying to answer a few of them.
Yeah, so for them reworking Destroyer and Arcana, I think was the last question I saw. Yeah, follow us all on Twitch. Therian, Hyper, TV, Wogsy, DJ Montague. We're all regular streaming. Therian's gonna be streaming on Fridays. He'll be streaming the customs, so please go check that out if you want to play some PvP, you want to learn. If you have any questions, like ask anyone. Anyone wants to help. We're all here to help. And you said you're feeding, and look at this game. You're at 650k damage. My ass. Anyway.
Ass feeding? Is that
ass
what I just
feeding?
heard?
He's feeding my ass. Anyways, yeah. Thanks again, everybody, for coming to hang out with us today, and any questions we were able to answer. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today and going through our second episode of MokokoCast. We'll be back October 28th with another MokokoCast episode. It's a little ways away, but again, we gotta update some stuff, and we're giving them the same treatment they gave us, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys. You guys want to say anything?
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much for
yeah. Have a nice
Bye,
one.
everybody.
See you guys in the next one.